Another day, another video. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today we're watching a 100. This episode 1 of the 5th season, which is absolutely crazy. I cannot believe we are on season 5. We have totally flown to this point, and if you'd like to watch today's full episode, it is available for free in the link in the description below. Just click on it, put the password in, and enjoy. So last season was hectic. It was really good. My favourite character was Octavia. She won it in my season 4 ending vote, and I feel like she's just in an upward trajectory. Obviously, she's leading everybody now. She took part in the conclave, which had some amazing fighters. We had obviously Luna, and we also had Rowan, who was there, and she managed to survive this, and she won. She was victorious. Instead of choosing Sky Crew to be the sole survivors in the bunker, she decided that all of the clans collectively will have 100 people. She didn't care who it was. It could be anyone. As long as you pick your 100 and go down there, we can survive together as one clan. Indra's by her side as well. She's kind of like her second, and that is where we kind of seen them finish in the final episode, to be honest. She come out there, she done a little speech, rattling everybody. They was all cheering, celebrating, before we heavily moved on and focused here what was happening with Raven and Bellamy, you know, and Clark. We had Harper, Monte, Murphy, and Amora, as well as Echo, who was trying to go up into space. Now, they was hit with their own problems. Do you know what I mean? Like, PRAIMFAYA come, it took down Polis. They worked out they got 90 minutes before it hits them here in, you know, the station that they was. Everybody had a job to do. You know, Clark had to run to this tower. She had to turn the kind of like the satellite dish into the perfect spot so that it could hit a perfect thing for the arc and give power to it. We also had, you know, we had Murphy and, what is it, Monty now. They was going to the lighthouse. They was stealing kind of like some sort of supplies for there that they could use as well. And then obviously they was all getting ready for the ship to be prepped up on the inside. Now, what's mad is Clark didn't manage to make it back in time. You know, her distance that she had to travel was too long to go there and back, as well as face the problems that she had trying to get it all set up. She plugged it in, it didn't work. She decided that she was ascending the tower, she was going to climb up, and that straight away sacrificed herself. Now, I pose the question that possibly maybe because she's a Nightblood that she could get lucky, and if she does manage to obviously hook it up and they do the launch and go up into space, she can run and dive into the bunker and outweigh obviously the flames, the fire of it, and then she'd be able to actually walk out in a polluted atmosphere. And it turns out that is true as well, because after they successfully hit and went up into space without Clark, even though he was devastated leaving her behind, they went for a mad struggle, didn't they, to try and get the oxygen supply turned on inside of the ark. They successfully done it. When it was all on the last legs, it looked like they was all about to die. It was all literally turning blue, wasn't there? If you've seen them all, it was crazy. They were selling it really well before obviously Bellamy managed to flick the switch, the oxygen come in, and it was all okay again. It ended with them on the ship, with Bellamy stood there in the window with Raven. They was looking out, and he was like, mate, you know, Clark, we need to make sure that we survive her. You know, we don't want her death to be in vain. And then it just popped up 6 years later. Crazy. So we just totally fast forwarded it. You know, we just dodged the fact that obviously Clark survived down on the ground. And I would love to know how. Hopefully we get some flashbacks on like when she first walked out the door. What did she do? What water did she drink? You know, it's been polluted. Where did she get a food source from? How did she survive for 6 years? Clark was speaking on the microphone. She was trying to contact Bellamy. She don't know he's actually made it up there safely, but she's hoping, and she's been doing it every single day with no reply. Now she's obviously saying as well she's been trying to speak to the people in the bunker, but they've not come out as well. So it's been 6 years and he only had to be down there for 5. So she's thinking, what's going on? You've not come down, they've not come out. And then we've seen a rocket come from the sky. Now, very interestingly, Clark ran into the back of the rover, and there's a girl there, another night bleeder, it seems like. So that's really interesting as well. She's found somebody along the way and trying to survive, and out there living together. She thought it was Bellamy that was coming down, and it turns out it's a massive ship, mate. Absolutely a massive ship. She's got a sniper out, she's trying to read what's on there, and it says like prisoner escort, and then obviously she's panicked, and the episode's ended. So that was crazy, honestly, really crazy, and I'm so excited to see obviously what season 5 has in store for us. Thanks for checking out today's episode. If you do enjoy it, please smash a like, really helps out. Subscribe if you're new, and as always, let's jump into the first episode of the 5th season of the 100. Oh yes, we are getting a backstory. 42 days after PRAIMFAYA. Ash all over the place, look at that. You know what, I'm really happy that we're getting this little bit of, you know, backstory. This is what I wanted. Oh, so that's how she's found the rover. Okay. Explaining stuff. I like it. Simple, but effective. Well, yeah, it's not about just getting in, mate. It's how to get out. Do you know what I mean? If you wanted to. They probably can't even open the door.
I'm here. I'm here.
Look at those rations. Imagine inhaling all that dust.
But this is the first time I feel alone.
Yo, I've got to say, I'm actually liking how they started this, mate.
Like
this is good.
here. How the hell am I gonna make it 5 years?
So you used to listen to, innit? So he must be dead for long gone then. 4 seasons of Jasper.
What's the point if all there is pain and suffering? I doubt you can hear me on this piece of crap radio. But in case this is the last time I get to do this, please don't feel bad about leaving me here.
Before we get into this, mate, I'm so happy. Like, I can't even express my joy of actually them doing what I wanted them to do last season in terms of, like, I thought it was going to absolutely just dodge the 6 years. And I think it would be a fantastic idea, right? If up until halfway point of the season, so it's a 13 episode season, so around 6 or 7, I would do the mid-season finale. I would do the first half of the season, it all nothing to do with what's happened after. It's, you know what I mean, like basically what we see in Clark, how we ended last season with the prisoners, like ship coming down or whatever it was. That can be second half. Like we've done it before in Teen Wolf where we have a 3A and a 3B. It's the same season, but it's kind of like 2 stories, and mate, it was sick. And I would totally love that here, to be honest. Like, I would love the first half to be like 1 episode of Clark full on scavenging. Next episode, everybody in the Ark, how they survived on the first day. Next episode, how's everybody down in the bunker surviving? Do you know what I mean? Go back to Clark next episode. How she found this girl? Do you know what I mean? How they progress forward? How they been living? Because it's been 6 years. It's such a long time to just gloss over. I feel like it would be amazing. And then you get to a point where you've got everybody's kind of storylines in sync and how they've acted, you know, tried to survive, what they've been doing until you hit the point of the landing. Then after the landing, then you're rocking to the start of, you know, the ship as it's come down. I would choose to do that if it was me writing a story. That's what I would have picked. So far, I can't really moan because I think they've done it really well. Yo, I'll be harnessing that. Where are the buckets? Oh, she don't have any, does she? I'll be grabbing them all, mate. Anything that I could to store the water in. Oh, that's pretty sick, that, Clark. Not gonna lie. Just munching on there. Book. You gotta do what you gotta do, mate, aren't you? Like a sandstorm, an ash storm. Yo, it feels like the end of the world. It actually does feel like the end of the world. I'm liking it. I actually really am. It just feels like she's on a Todd, mate, just trying to survive. It's obviously still intact, though, because we've seen it 6 years in the future. That kid was in it. Oh, just knackered. Maybe this is where the child comes and finds her. Her lips look well dry there, don't they?
Show me where you live.
Innit? I want to kill you.
I've lost everything! I lost my friends, my father, my mother!
I would love her to try and shoot herself and it just couldn't work. Full of sand or something, no bullets. Yo, there's got to be some resource somewhere in it, mate. No water for the birds or something. Yo, that's mad, that, innit? I've seen that compared to the other bit. Now pop it. Andy Clark. That's what you gotta do, Clark, mate. You know? Cheers for the advice. Thanks for showing me where the trees are. Now I'm starving. Bang, bang. Thank you very much. Now, I'm loving how it started off, to be honest. I really, really am. It's got the feel of nobody's left, and that is what I like. When they first come down to the Earth, it was like, is it survivable? And it was loads of them. Now it's like, okay, Clark's the lone survivor and he's nobody. And it's like, what is happening now? This is like survival kicking in instincts, you know what I mean? And this is where it's exciting for me anyway. I do love it. I think they've started it really, really good. I couldn't have asked for anything better, to be honest. I know it's just Clark walking around, but you got to make it believable that the world's ending. And this is how it's making me feel anyway. So I'm giving it a big up, me.
Animals don't feel guilty when they kill. They just do it. Their reasons to want us dead were the same as ours. It was us or them. It was the commander of death when there's no one left to kill. I guess we'll find out.
Hey mate, go for a dip. I'll be buzzing me. How's it so fresh in this bit of the jungle? I don't understand.
It's like the death wave jumped over the entire valley.
Rip to you, son. To be fair though, I thought it would have been proper burnt to a crisp, but it's just radiation, isn't it, that's got him. Right, it's bare heads there. I'll just get them all and take them outside. He'd be stinking it up. That's my house now.
And I found berries. A whole field of them. They're not very sweet, but they're beautiful.
Oh, it is. Someone stood there. Oh, mate, you'd have to chase her, innit?
It's okay.
Whoa, mate, you'd be buzzing and scared at the same time. I would be anyway.
Wait. Are you alone?
Oh, fucking hell, mate. She's a night bleeder, so she's not going to touch her. Yeah. Very good, very good. Me? Oh, why is she so young? Oh, got me 6 years ago. Obviously, like, Clark just looks the same. This is really interesting. I mean, I would like the answer to know why this forest bit has not been hit with the, you know, with the wave, to be honest. If you looked at it, it was all desert and ash and everything, and then you just had a boom, nice greeny bit right there in the centre. But, again, I'm echoing what I keep consistently saying. How good is this? It's really good. I'm liking how she's doing a little diary as well. Like, imagine that was in real life and something like that happened and somebody found these tapes and they listened back on it. That'd be some next level stuff, wouldn't it? Imagine listening to that. It's kind of like finding a diary from somebody way back in the war. Do you know what I mean? And like, we find it now in the present and we read all these stories and how they survived and, you know, people hiding and everything that went on. It's so fascinating. And that's why I think this is fascinating. I know that obviously I'm just watching it and it's just like present time for me. But it's just like, that's how my mind's interpreting it. Do you know what I mean? Imagine finding and acquiring all this information, like in the future, what she's relaying. How sick is it? That is some brutal stuff, that, mate. Look at that. She's pretty much like a training doctor. Kid stunner in there. Kid spin. Oh. Yo, this kid's sick. They do train to be warriors, though, don't they? Luna was some next level fighter. Well, yeah, she used to like drawing, didn't she? We've not even seen her do it ever. Maybe she draws a picture and leaves it on the rock for her to find it. That is pretty sick, to be fair. She reminds me of Luna. She does, mate. Just a little mini one. And they, you know, Luna was saying that from a young age, they're trained to fight, aren't they? They are the warriors. They've got to go to their own little conclave to see who survives, who could be the commander. Do you know what I mean? All the night bleeders. So they're not no weaklings. They're there. If she had a fight with Clark, there's a good chance that she could win. I know you might think that sounds daft, but it's not. Already you've seen her get one up on her with that thing, and then she's been in and she's took all the stuff. You know, she's no messing about, mate. She survived here. Clark said, what, 50 odd days? Don't put it past her, because trying to survive on your Todd for 50 odd days is hard, especially being a young kid as well. Do you know what I mean? Being scared of being left on your own. It shows that she is strong. And then they're obviously together in the future, which again is really good. And I'm liking it. Now we're 6 years later, we dived into it. I'm liking Clark's hair as well, you know. God.
The berries are ripe. Clark, you promised. Season there weren't enough, but this year they're everywhere. Please, I'll cook for a week and clean up.
Oh, the loving berries. I do love good berry. What's your favourite one?
No. Skyrip is a beast. Of course she'd win the conclave. She'll get them out of that bunker. I'm sorry they left without you.
Well, I'm not. Because if I was with them, I never would have met you.
Right, we're going to transition to these now. We'll do it next episode, me, but I'm not complaining. I like how this episode's gone. Future. Got a beard. Look at him.
Soup's on.
Yo, mate, his hair. Yes. His hair looks well good.
And if by better you mean doesn't want to make you violently hurl, then yeah, it's an improvement. Ground radiation has been survivable for a year. They can live everywhere. Okay. Tomorrow I'll try again to boost the signal from the antenna.
Seconds? Yeah, right. I choose Murphy.
Outside of the ship, remember? Somehow you wanted me to train, right? So let's do it.
Now, if you shift your weight when you throw it, it might actually hurt. You're not worthless, Murphy.
Imagine seeing that ship. Yo, I think they all look really good, me. Like, honestly, they all look like the best I've seen them.
Radio silence. Their comms might be disabled.
Or the ship could be unmanned.
Or it's manned by aliens.
We make decisions as a team here, even if we can't stand the sight of each other.
Yo, that one must be massive then if that big ship come from that. Oh, this is interesting. So was he eating that grass?
Mayday, I am hailing the dropship now on re-entry to Earth. We are stranded aboard the space station to your west.
Yo, this has been a great episode. I ain't gonna lie. I've absolutely loved it, me.
Get it out of sight and load the guns.
I know I said that I would have done this up until episode 7. I'm not gonna lie, I actually would have done. I thought Clarke has done so good just on a singular sole person throughout this whole episode. I would have like honestly took each episode of each clan, person, place, location, whatever, and happy with it. But I'm actually happy with how the episode's currently gone. I think this has been a fantastic episode. I actually really do. I like information-based episodes, me. Most of the time I like high action. Sometimes if you just keep me fully engaged, yeah, I'm all in. This has been a really interesting. They all look decent as well, you know. I like how Clarke's hair's cut shorter. That looks decent. I like how, mate, Murphy's hair is short, and I was going to say Jasper, and Monty's. Look at his. He had the JB cut, didn't he? Now he's got short hair, short sides. Looks really good. And I mean, what's happened with Amora and Murphy as well? What's happened? Literally, they went up there as like hardcore lovers, and now they're like at each other's necks. It's decent. I like it. That ship that's come down is massive. That we've just seen in front of Clarke there, and that's come off a. It looks so tiny compared to that ship that's in the sky. It must be huge. That one over there.
Who are they? Why are you so scared?
I will not let anything happen to you. Look, until I figure this out, I want you to hide in your secret spot. Here.
I'll make sure it's my only choice.
I mean, I love little kids, me. Like, when you get a little kid who comes a badass, that is when you know a show's doing well. It's Octavia again, under the floor. Exciting. Come on, who've we got? What do they look like? Station's huge.
So much for the meek inheriting the Earth.
Whoever took out the rest of the world must have missed this spot.
And see if you can figure out what the hell happened to our planet while we were asleep.
On it.
You're still my favorite mass murderer.
I mean, obviously they look bad because they're just coming in, but like, it doesn't mean they necessarily are. But Clarke would be skeptical in it, territorial. Oh, she's shot.
Oh, come on, man. You're gonna shoot a kid?
Why not?
For starters, because she's a kid.
He said, "Don't."
Help me.
Yeah.
I think he might be a good guy.
There are no good guys.
Oh, guys.
What's it mean?
Not alone.
Right, how the tables have turned, isn't it? Right? So, at first, these come down to the ground from space, didn't they? They hit it and he was chilling, then he was living, he was trying to survive. Now, the first shot that was dealt to Sky Crew was from the grounders. I don't care what anybody says, right? Because I read comments and sometimes they say that Sky Crew was the instigator of the attacks on the grounders. I personally do not believe that. The first shot was dealt when Jasper swung over that bridge and he got hit by that spear. Anything that come after that, that was self-defense because they become scared of their life being taken and it was all for preserving it. So, like, the grounders dealt the first blow and they didn't even know anybody from Sky Crew and if he was bad. how the tables have turned. Now Clark's doing the same thing. These people have landed on the earth. She doesn't know who they are, don't know if they're good or bad people. All she knows is that they've come to where she's living, they're a threat, and she's took both of them out. I think it's very interesting. I mean, in no way, shape or form do I believe that Clarke should be able to take out all these people, these loads. You see that guy that come down and said that it was his idea to like orbit in space before obviously coming down to Earth or whatnot? I feel like he might end up being an alright guy. Because, I don't know, his vibe that he's given me so far, even though he's only been in it a couple of seconds, is different to the others. But, I mean, I do like how the episode started. Well, an ending.
I don't think we should do this.
I know it's a risk, but they have a transport, which means they carry fuel.
Can we leave? We can't come back.
What's this really about?
I let my best friend kill himself.
It wasn't your fault,
I could have done
Monty.
more. I don't want to be that person again.
Remember, radio me when John gets to the hangar bay so I can go get my...
Save you the trouble.
You know what this is? It's a cockroach
Violin.
violin.
Oh, she looks different. Her hair's much longer.
What are we gonna be now, Bellamy?
Nothing is gonna change on the ground.
Fucking get in there, mate. I called it, mate. When they first sat in the cages, I'm gonna scan back and see if I said it.
You do remember I almost killed your sister.
It's another life.
You're right. You're screwed.
Bellamy, it took you 3 years.
Stubborn nerve.
3 years. I've sensed it instantly, me, mate.
Whatever we run into down there, Octavia will be the least of our worries.
Oh, we're getting a bit of everything. Oh, this is dark now. Look at these. She looks like a proper dark person now. Oh, mate. Well, interesting. Oh, mate, the tune's changed in the background as well, and it's directed. Yeah, this is a different person that's directed it. Another name usually comes up there or something, a producer. That was really interesting. Wow, the vibe around Octavia is well dark now. She looks like a baddie. You know, if you was going to say it, you would say that she looks like the bad person, which is interesting because she's my favourite. And, you know, favourites can change. She can have a terrible season and she can get my most disliked. I ain't no bias. Now, sometimes I'm biased when it comes to a 50-50 situation. I'll lean on their side. I do. I'll hold my hands up. Not going to lie, I'm honest. But, you know, it's interesting. But the thing is, though, in their situation there where, you know, mass population anyway, like, going through like a, I don't know, like a fighting sort of thing and like, I don't know, people killing each other. I suppose it's kind of crazy, but it also keeps the numbers down, so to speak. And if you volunteer to go in there, you don't get forced. Then again, that's different. It's your own free will. So I'm interested. I thought it was a great episode, to be honest. It was definitely not what I expected. I would have chose to have approached the season a little bit differently, but in the same way they did, but I would have spread it. But then sometimes you can spread it and it takes too long. Like I said, if it was my choice, I would have gone up to mid-season. I would have portrayed each story and how everybody's progressed to where they currently are now. And then obviously, like, the mid-season finale would have been, like, all the stories combining, collecting into one and hitting it where that dropped down, you know, onto the earth, that shape. And then obviously after that, on the back end, I would have done the final episodes from, what is it, like 7 to 13, all of them obviously searching the earth, them trying to get down, going to that station, what's happening with them in the ground. But no complaints from me. Do you know what I mean? If I'm going to get a season as good as today's episode, because I personally think this was great. I'm not going to lie, I actually really did think it was great. Then I think it's going to be a great season, to be honest. It's going to be really good. The fact that we've got 3 different like locations and 3 different stories that we can go into is great for me. It reminds me of Game of Thrones, not in terms of that style, but like there's so many people and so many families and so many stories going on that you don't even have to jump into one location to be entertained. You don't have to get everybody involved, because when there's so much action and so much story that can be told, you could heavily focus on just one full episode and not be bothered that you haven't seen Octavia, or not bothered that you've seen, you know, Clarke, because you're so invested in what's being told right in front of you. So I think it's been great. I can't wait, mate, for the rest of this season. And that's going to wrap up today's episode. Thanks so much for checking out the channel today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Mate, what do you think about the vibe? Personally, it's right up my street. It actually really is. It's right up my street, the vibe of this, you know, the way this episode was. Clarke, for the, 30 minutes of it was just her on her own. It made me feel like the world had ended, or it was pretty much gone, and that is what I'm talking about, you know. I didn't want it to just start chaotic, everybody here again, and it not feel like, you know, the PRAIMFAYA's just come in and destroyed everything. It was Clarke doing her own little like monologue, you know. It's kind of like her telling us a diary out loud, how she lived, how she survived, how she, you know, searched for stuff, we seen how she was getting water, hunting. Where did she find this location? She chased the bird. She was on the last leg. She was nearly giving up. It was so good. Like, I actually really did enjoy it. It was like peak storytelling. And then obviously she's come along. She's found this bird. She's found this green area. And like, first of all, my question is, how has that not been hit? I don't know. Maybe we'll get told that later on. But now being in there, then I was interested to see obviously all the colours, because we went from like dark and ash to like obviously bright and vibrant. She's gone in, she's found this location, she's searching, she's found the lake, she's gone swimming, she's getting some fish, she's seen this girl. Now obviously she's chased her. This girl is a night bleeder herself. And she put up a good scrap, you know, she's done her leg in. She's come, she's, as she's asleep or whatever, passed out, she's took a weapon, she's made sure that she's safe. Do you know what I mean? It's very, very good. And then obviously Clark's kind of done an extension, she drew a picture, she's got a bit closer, and then we fast forwarded into the future where we see them together again. Now, personally, I think CW are amazing at doing flashbacks. Well, I only watched, to be honest, I've only seen the originals, the Vampire Diaries and Arrow, and every time they've gone into a backstory, whether it was Damon and Stefan, you know, when it was the younger days, or when it was obviously Klaus and Elijah and Rebecca when he was first vampires, or when it was Oliver McQueen when he was Oliver Queen when he was in the you know, the jungle, when obviously he was trying to survive. Those backstories were sick. Loved them. And it totally fit. The CW know how to blend a whole story that's not part of like the current season, like, into it, which makes it totally good. So like, I wouldn't mind going into the next episode, and obviously we know now where Octavia is and like what they're doing. But if we went back and then we got her surviving the first wave of PRAIMFAYA and we're seeing her progress to that story again, I wouldn't be complaining. I don't care where she is now. I want to see where she got to and how she got to that position, and how's everything dark, and who decided that cage was there, and how they're going to fight. Do you know what I mean? All of that is information that I want to acquire. I want to seep it in, mate. Knowledge is key. I can't wait for it, honestly. If we get an episode like today for the rest, I'll be excited. I love this season. I'm not going to lie. And then also, like, I like the fact that obviously these people have come down to the earth. They're trying to make it survivable themselves. They want to see if they can live here. You know, I don't know where they've been, actually. They said something like, yeah, we've been floating around for ages. Like, what's happened to our earth while we was asleep? Kind of reminds me of like Passengers. You know, have you seen the film with Chris Pratt and Jennifer Lawrence in, when they're in that spaceship and they kind of asleep in pods, and then his wakes up, and then obviously like he wakes her up, and so on, mate. It's kind of like that. Like, was they asleep and then they've all woken up and it's like, what's going on here, mate? Why is Earth destroyed? How's he only a little bit of patch here that's left? Now, obviously, Clark, when they landed first time, the Grounders attacked them. They seen them as the enemy coming on their territory, and now Clark's done the same thing. Full circle, she's the Grounder, they're the Sky people, and she's attacked them. You know what I mean? Even when somebody come and tried to save the little girl, she was like, look, mate, he might be a good guy. There's no good guys. Bang, get killed. You know what I mean? So now she's obviously made enemies instantly. It's going to be exciting. I'm really, really intrigued. And also, obviously, they're trying to make it all the way across as well. They survived up there real good. I'm buzzing that Bellamy's with Echo. I don't know about you, but I full-on called it, mate. Literally. I don't know if I called it instantly when he was first in the cage. When she spat in his face, right, I think I even said, mate, I kind of like her and Bellamy's vibe. Do you know what I mean? And as they progressed, I can see it, that, like, Echo kind of digs him and he kind of likes her. I don't know. I caught it anyway, and my radar was pinging all over the place, and I knew it was going to happen. I'm so happy it has. What's going on with, you know, what's going on with Amori and Murphy? That, again, is another interesting one. I've got bare questions, so many, but there's still the rest of the season to go, so let's see if the rest of the episodes can answer them. I'm excited. Thanks for checking out today's episode. If you did enjoy it, please smash a like. It really helps out. Subscribe if you're new, and as always, I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers, guys.